Let's do a quick review of Ultrasabers in 2023. On Reddit forums or on any of the threads out there about lightsabers in general, they've kind of probably picked up that Ultrasabers aren't a lot of people's favorite company. They kind of have a little bit of a tarnished reputation, and a lot of people really tell you to stay away from them. So I'm doing a review of Ultrasabers in 2023. So before I go over the video, I want to talk about the hilts that I have here. A lot of these are all from Ultrasabers, except for this one on the corner here. I've purchased all these hilts myself. Ultrasabers hasn't given me anything for free. I don't work with Ultrasabers. I just wanted to start getting into lightsabers recently, and like I said in the beginning of the video, a lot of people really feel a certain way about Ultrasabers, so that's why I wanted to do more of my unbiased opinion this year on Ultrasabers. The only thing that I've gotten for free from them, which wasn't really for free, but I entered a raffle and I won this hilt from them. So other than that, I've paid for everything here. Nothing's been given to me for review. I just want to give my unbiased opinion. Sabers, and of course for anybody that's Googled lightsabers, I guarantee you've probably seen some kind of advertisement from Ultrasabers. Seems like they pay a lot of money into Google advertisements, and if you search it once, you're probably going to get a lot of hits from them popping up on your computer. So with that being said, we were playing Jedi Survivor, and I wanted to get some kind of hilt for my kid that he could spar with me with my Master's replica, and I found a relatively cheap Cal Kestis lightsaber blade, the one that they call the Survivor. It was pretty cheap on sale. They always have 50% off sales. I'll get into that a little bit more. But this was a decent price, and I bought it. So after that, I ended up getting 2 or 3 more after that, and that's kind of where the end of the road for Ultrasabers is with me after getting a few hilts. So like I said, this is just a review of their company and not an in-depth review of any of their products. So I wrote down a few pros and cons that I like to get into with Ultrasabers. The biggest con and the biggest elephant in the room is their customer service. When you ask people about Ultrasabers on any forums, threads, or on Reddit, everyone's going to blast their customer service right off the bat. And there's a shred of truth about that. If a lot of people are saying it, it's for a good reason. A lot of it, I've noticed, isn't firsthand experience. A lot of it is things that have been passed on from one person to another, and they heard and I heard.
My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy
That they're not a good company. So, with that being said, not a lot of people have had first-hand experience. I've seen a lot of people very adamantly and very frustratingly say that they're the worst company in the world, and when I ask them, have you had first-hand experience dealing with them, sometimes the answer is no, and that doesn't invalidate their opinion, because if somebody's heard it from somewhere else, there's a shred of truth in there. But I would take anything that doesn't have first-hand experience with a grain of salt. So I've heard stories ranging from really bad to lightly bad, from I've tried to reach out to customer service and I've heard nothing, or they didn't help me, or they didn't want to replace a product that broke, to very large things about pretty much like copyright infringement and stuff like that. You could go search the forums yourself. You could see what other people say. I don't know how much of it's true. Like I said, that's the big elephant in the room, is customer service isn't always there. The other big con for them is their electronics. And a lot of their very basic electronics, you really kind of don't get what you pay for compared to other products. So this is a very basic lightsaber. This is not their stunt saber, which has no sound. They do offer something called stunt sabers, which are just pretty much a lit flashlight. This is one of their basics, and the electronics inside is very lacking compared to what you can purchase from other distributors or from other markets, however you want to say it. The internals just really aren't there, especially cost to product-wise. So their very basic stuff runs, they might have changed it, upgraded it since then, but a lot of their basic stuff runs off of 4 AAAs, which does not last very long. Their basic soundboard is called the Obsidian board, and it's only got like 4 different swinging fonts. So as you swing it, one, it's not smooth swing, it just kind of makes noise as you swing it around, and there's only really 4 variations of the noise. As you give it a hit, same thing, you get a few hits, but there's no flash on clash, nothing. It's just a single light coming into here that you can't change. And I think their button options are pretty much on, off, and then if you tap it once, you'll get some kind of like a lockup noise. It doesn't lock up on the blade because it's a single color blade. But for the price that you'll pay for a lightsaber like that, you could get a different lightsaber from a different retailer that has almost all the features for the same price. So just be aware, the biggest thing about Ultrasabers is their electronics on the inside are not keeping up with the market. The next part is, you saw the inside of this hilt is not really, there's no chassis. They kind of just throw it all in there. I don't know if there's any reason or logic behind that. I don't know if it's for a stability thing, if it's in a chassis, that's more chances for something to fall out. But another problem is just trying to get the electronics out. You almost have to kind of throw the electronics out because there's no chassis inside for it to slide out. You almost have to use inertia to get everything out, and it is a little frustrating. But again, I'm not sure if there's a reason or logic behind it. The more play something has, the less likely it is to break, especially in a hit. If it rattles a little bit, that actually does provide some kind of stability to the electronics compared to if it's solid and it takes a good hit. What's taking that hit is all those electronics. So I'm not sure that was the reasoning behind it, but it does provide a little bit of stability. If you give it a little hit and it has a little bit of wiggle room, that play takes a little bit of the inertia of a hit from a lightsaber or a drop before like a hard chassis would. I don't know how to really explain that otherwise. It's kind of like if you're in a car and you're locked up and then the car gets in an accident, you're going to take all that hit compared to if you kind of wobble around a little bit. The inertia is going to get lost in that movement of you moving around a little bit. I don't know if that was their concept for this, but it may be. The chassis are really nice and great to have, but that's just something that I would throw in as a con because it's not easy to get out. Moving on to the pros, because I do want to end this video on a good note about Ultrasabers. Anything I'm saying here, don't take this as me criticizing Ultrasabers or flaming them as the worst or even trying to white knight for them. I'm just trying to give my unbiased opinion of the company and their products in 2023, especially since I see such a huge divide on them. So one of the pros on this company is they are made in the US. A lot of these other lightsaber companies that you see, they're just retailers or resellers from Chinese manufacturing, which is probably part of the reason why their electronics and their cost per product ratio can't really keep up. These are made in America. These are designed and CNC'd in the United States, and it's not going to be able to keep up on cost with something that's manufactured quickly and cheaply in China. Another pro to Ultrasabers that I really like is their modularity. They do have, they use the MHS, which is Modular Hilt System from the Custom Saber Shop. So when you get a lightsaber, you can change out a lot of different features on the lightsabers. Mainly the hilt and the pommel could swap out really easy, and you could swap it with parts that you find on their website or mainly from the Custom Saber Shop, which they make all kinds of good stuff, and they have an amazing reputation in the lightsaber community. You can't buy any built lightsabers from them, but they are huge on people making and building lightsabers, and they are there to help. But they offer a lot of parts, and if you buy something like an easy hilt that has a modular hilt system, you could swap out all the parts you want. You could change it to whatever you want, and I think that's pretty cool on some lightsabers. kind of like how Savi's workshop from Disney does that. You can change it out to do whatever you want. So you could buy one hilt and kind of change the look, kind of change the feel. Especially if you get one that has different colors on the blade, then you definitely could change that and get some really good variations from a single blade. And I think that is definitely a huge pro for Ultrasabers. Going into customer service a little bit more, that is, again, like I said, the huge elephant in the room. A lot of people have had very negative experiences with it. Now, I'm going to put this on a pro because in my own personal experience, I've had 0 issues with their customer. I haven't had any major interactions with them except for a few times by email. I think for this blade, I wanted a certain board on the inside and they didn't have it. So they emailed me and offered me a like a Profi board on this one instead for at a kind of a discounted price since they didn't have the one that I wanted. Or they just said I could wait. I also went out of my way to make sure to email them and ask them a couple questions about their company because I wanted to just ask them a few questions, see if they were responsive to the email, what replies I got back. That kind of gave me a better idea of their customer service. And everything that I got back, I didn't see any major red flags. But that is my own personal experience. I know everyone's had their own, and I know a lot of people have had negative experiences. Since I did email them and I asked them about different subjects, I asked them if all their parts were made in America, and they said, yes, everything was manufactured in Texas. I asked them what their favorite features are on their lightsabers, and they said that there's plenty of different options is one of their favorite things, and that is true. For every lightsaber that they have, you could make it a stunt saber, you could make it a single color saber, you could make it a neopixel saber. Every blade they have has full customization on it. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. Not every manufacturer offers that because a lot of manufacturers out there are retailers from China. And what you kind of get is, what you see is what you get. For an American-made company, they could tailor make it to whatever you want because they're making them there in-house. They said another one of their favorite features is how reliable they are. And you know what? Honestly, I'm going to put that to test in this video with this first lightsaber that we had from them. We don't really use this one anymore. Like I said in the beginning of the video, not having a chassis may not be a bad thing. It's very easy to get the chassis out if you have an actual chassis inside of your hilt. You could pull it out. You have everything nice there in one unit that you could fix, you could work on, you could change the batteries. For this one, it's kind of hodgepodged into there. But like I said, that actually might lean to their durability. I have seen a few things on different forums and Reddit stuff with the non-Ultrasaber stuff where somebody's like, I dropped it, oh my gosh, it's not working anymore. It broke because I dropped it once. The customer service rep, when I asked what one of their favorite features was, is how tough it is. They said they've been able to drop this from the 2nd floor by accident. He said it was a long story. But when he picked it up, it worked perfectly fine. There was no issues. I'm sure the batteries probably broke free. But let's test that. At the end of this video, I'm going to take this and I'm going to do some very light torture testing on this and see if it keeps working. Another pro to Ultrasabers is how they design their Profi boards. So they have started recently offering Profi boards for their lightsabers, and they call them Ultra Profi lightsabers. At the end of the day, it's just a Profi board, but the config file that they put into the lightsabers is one of the best config files I've actually seen straight from the manufacturer. I know if you're slick enough, you could take your Profi board and reprogram it to do whatever you want. And if you have the knowledge and the ability, which doesn't really take that much to do, then you could get some very awesome config files on your board. If you don't know how you config file a Profi board, it's almost like a computer. What you get on there is it. If you want to make any changes or edits to it, you have to plug up your board to your computer and know some basic coding to be able to change it. The biggest gripe that a lot of people have is that they can't really make any changes to their Profi boards. They have added a very light and basic editing mode into their profi board, and it makes it very useful. I don't feel the need to have to redo the configuration on this profi board or any other profi boards, because there's a light edit mode in here where I could change color, brightness, sensitivity, all that stuff, and it changes it on the actual board. A lot of those, when you change, a lot of other profi boards, when you change the color, as soon as you switch away from that preset or that font, or you change out the batteries, it goes back to what it's. So those are the pros and cons. Like I said, I'm trying to just do a very basic, unbiased video for them, and just the facts as I know it. With that being said, an overall personal opinion of their lightsabers is, I think if you see a hilt that just really calls out to you from Ultrasabers, you're like, man, I like that hilt design and I want that hilt design. In my personal opinion, I think if you want it, get it. I don't think you're going to have any issues. Just be aware of the cost to product ratio that you could get from other retailers that sell lightsabers. You could get more bang for your buck from different manufacturers. I could totally see and look past why their lightsabers are more expensive than others, because they are manufactured, made and designed and created here in the United States, compared to, I would say, like 80% of the lightsabers out there are made in China. Ultrasabers is not one of those companies, and I think the really high-end replica manufacturers are also not. They're made here in the United States. That's my overall thoughts on Ultrasabers in 2023. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Give me a like and subscribe, and I'm going to keep trying to do as much lightsaber content as I can. Alright guys, we're testing this Ultrasaber strength. We're going to practice it over here on the grass first. So let's see, drop test on the grass. Come over here. You ready? Drop it. Alright. Let's see if it turns back on. Ah, your hand's gone. Let's turn it back on. Let's see what it does. Back on. Back on. Nice. Alright, so we're trying again. A little bit of a throw test. You ready? Cut off your hand and you throw it. 3, 2, 1. Oh! Cut off your hand. Still working.
Get back in!
Okay. So we're going to drop it normal on the concrete. You ready? Concrete drop test. You ready? Let's see what happens. Turn it back on. Turn her on. Still works. Okay. Drop one more drop test. You ready? Well, let's see. Hold on. Let me see. You had to click it more than once?
Yeah.
No, turns right on.
That
All right.
Probably...
All right. Last test is going to be a small throw test, just like you did before. You ready?
How do I turn it off?
You got to hold it, remember? Whoa. Okay, you ready? And when I cut your hand, you're going to do a light throw, a small throw, just like you did on the grass. That was a pretty good throw. Let's see what happens. Let's turn it.
That's not lightsaber, but I could have broke my own
Let's see.
lightsaber.
Let's see.
If it doesn't turn on, that's fine.
Dang, still turns on. What do we think? Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Now we're just getting into torture testing. Let's see what happens. This is the last one. No more throwing around. Oh, no, stop. Okay, fine, throw it. But that's it. This is the last one. Oh, we just got yeeted. I'm sure it'll turn back on. That was in the grass. Let's see. All right, let's see. Turn on. All right. Do it. Yeet into the concrete. Into the concrete. Yeah, yeet into the concrete. Oh, my gosh. Go see what it did. That was the last one, though. We're not going to beat it up. No, I didn't get... Ah, that was it. That was it. Stop. Alright, guys. We have some pretty good little scratches and dents, which was to be expected on the CNC'd aluminum, for sure. There's no way that wasn't going to happen, but other than that, everything turns on. We get some light swinging motions. This one's just the obsidian board.
And it got broken because I yeeted it.
Okay, stop. Still got some light swing motions. Didn't really have too much on it. It's a little flash on clash button. Let's see if it still has hit detection. Yep, still has hit detection. Let's see. Hit detection. Hit it on your head. You ready? Bonk.